Hi, I'm Mary, and I'm coming to you with a couple books that you might want to consider reading during Native American Heritage Month. The first one is a fairly new book. It's called The Only Good Indians, and it is by Stephen Graham Jones. And I have not finished reading this book, and I must say it is a dark book. This story follows four American Indian youth after a disturbing event puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. They are tracked by an entity bent on revenge. These childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent and vengeful way. The Only Good Indians. It's really good. It really catches your attention. The next one I'm going to talk about is probably by an author you've heard of before, The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich. And this one is based on the life of her grandfather. And so Thomas, the main character, is a night watchman in a factory, which is located outside of the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation in North Dakota. And her grandfather is the Chippewa council member, and he's the leader. And so he has been brought a document from the government that is called an emancipation that they want to pass on the floor of Congress. This is during 1953, and he and his council members know that this isn't about freedom for the Indians, that Congress is fed up with them, and this bill is a termination that threatens the rights of the Native Americans and their land and their very identity. This is very good. So far, I have not quite finished this one yet either, but it's very good. And reading diverse books gives you an idea about different cultures, different races, different countries. It's very important because you learn things every day by reading books from different areas, and especially if it's by a person who actually is an authentic voice. So this is Louise Erdrich is an American, Native American, and the same with The Only Good Indians also. So that's important to look for too.
Hi, I'm Kaisa. You know me, I work in information services. Been doing a lot of curbside. You probably heard my voice, maybe, hopefully. And today I'm going to be talking about the OG gardening book, Buffalo Birdwoman's Garden. This started as an oral history, actually, of one of the vanguards of Hidatsa history. Her name is Wahine, but it translates to Buffalo Birdwoman, and apparently she answered to both. She was interviewed by Gilbert Wilson, who met her son in one of those awful boarding schools. And he interviewed her with the goal of learning some of the Hidatsa agricultural customs, and it's fascinating. She covers everything from how they plant, when they plant, what they plant, how they plant it together, how they dry it out, how people take turns, watching to make sure the animals aren't getting into their communal gardens. It's incredible.
Hi everybody, my name is Kirby and I work up in the children's department. I'm the assistant children's librarian, and today, in honor of Native American Heritage Month, I'm going to share some of my favorite books that I've been reading lately by Native American authors. These are all from the children's collection. All right, so I'll start off with some J-fiction. So some chapter books that I've been reading, so for older upper elementary, I would say. One of my favorites that I just finished and also made my mom read as well, because any book that I read and I think she'd like, I just force upon her. This is I Can Make This Promise by Christine Day. And this is about a young Native American girl who her mom is Native American, but she grew up in the foster system, so she doesn't know much about her background or her heritage, and her mom's not really telling her much. But then in her attic she finds a box of photos of a girl who looks like her and who shares her same name, and so it's all about this exploration of her background and what her parents know, what she might not know, and kind of grappling with that. So finding about her history and also exploring her relationships. Another book that I enjoyed that I recently read is called In the Footsteps of Crazy Horse by Joseph Marshall III. This is another kind of family exploration book. It is about a young Lakota boy who is taking a trip with his grandpa and kind of following in the footsteps, following the path that Sitting Bull took back in the 1800s. And so an important thing I do want to note about all these titles is I gathered these titles from different Native American organizations and Native American experts in the field. So Deborah Reese and Cynthia Smith, those are two big names. They both have blogs. The American Indian and Children's Literature and the American Indian Library Association, they do awards. And so these are titles that have won awards and have strong recommendations by Native American scholars and experts, and ones that I found in our collection that I read and I enjoyed, and so I want to share with you. A fun wintertime story that we just got in our collection, so this is a new book, is called In My Anana's Amotik, which is an Inuit story by an Inuit author, Nadia Samritak. And it is all about like feeling cozy as a little baby in his mama's amotik. So that is a kind of a swaddling carrier. And so fun little wintertime story that, yeah, is really sweet.